Hi, my name is Macy Martin. I'm a senior here at Tarleton State. Today we'll be doing an instructional video on how to do an equine sweat wrap. These wraps are used for strains, sprains, and any type of deep tissue injuries, and they're needed for also during stall rest. They're used to reduce inflammation and fluid buildup from swelling damage and tissue. The wrap generates heat in a way that dilates the blood vessels and releases fluid and increases blood flow to reduce inflammation on the legs. Typically, you will be using Furazone on some of these wraps. It's an antibacterial ointment that is water soluble, and it's actually what I'll be using today. Another medication used for sweat wraps is DMSO, and it's used to treat inflammation, arthritis, and infection. It's a topical anti-inflammatory ointment. Specifically with this one, though, we want to make sure the skin is dry to reduce irritation, and we want to wear gloves with this because it can be a little harsh on human skin. These are just your everyday typical nylon gloves. I will be using them today with the Furazone just because I don't want it on my hands. Like I said earlier, this should be used when you're using any type of DMSO. It can be harsh on your hands. Also, you want to make sure that there's no type of any holes or lesions in your gloves. This is a sterile cotton roll. This is going to be used to hold in the heat on these sweat wraps and used as a cushion. The good thing about these is you can cut them to size, but the bad thing is they're a little harder to use and you can't reuse them. These are quilt pads. It can be used in replacement of the cotton as well. The good thing about these is they are reusable, but they tend to get dirty really quick, especially with stalls and dirt and that Furazone or DMSO. It kind of sticks to it, so you do have to rewash them before you can use them again, but they do come in usually packs of 4, and they're a little easier to use as opposed to the cotton. This is your everyday common household saran wrap. It's relatively cheap and easy to find. You can cut it down to size to whatever you need. The only difficult thing about this is it is self-adhesive, so it can be hard to do if there are any fans or you're in an outside setting. It might take a couple tries to get on. To keep on the cotton, we'll use a polo wrap. These are reusable and you can wash them. They're much easier to get off than vet wrap, and they're much cheaper to use. This is your everyday vet wrap. The good thing about this is it is self-adhesive and it's really easy to work with. The bad thing about this is it is non-reusable, so you'll probably go through it a lot, especially if you're having to rewrap every day. The only thing is you can get these a little too tight if you're not paying close attention, but they do have a little more give than a polo wrap does, and they will stretch. These are my supplies that I used to make my wrap today. I cut down a piece of cotton to size, grabbed a piece of gloves, and a roll of vet wrap. I'm going to use Furazone, and I also went ahead and cut down a piece of plastic to size ahead of time, just so I don't have to measure that while I'm under the horse as well. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and put on my gloves and start with a clean leg. I'm going to apply the ointment to the leg segment that I need. In this case, I'm going to go for the cannon bone. I'm going to surround the entire bone with the ointment and make sure that it is applied evenly and there are no bumps. Next, I'm going to surround the segment with plastic and keep it as smooth as possible. That can get a little difficult, especially with the plastic, but as long as there's no huge bumps around, then it's okay. Next, I'm going to apply the cotton around the plastic, and it needs to be all the way around the leg and make sure that it covers every part of it. You might need an extra hand for this. In my case, I didn't, but you might have someone hold it just in case it comes off. Next, we're going to use my vet wrap and hold that cotton down. Be sure to not make it too loose, but also not too tight. You want to kind of keep it right in the middle. So I just secured that cotton down, and I made sure that I got a good grip on it. And going all the way down in a spiral motion, I made sure to overlap each layer of vet wrap at 50% So I went all the way down, and I should leave about 1/2 inch at the top and bottom for that cotton to show. So I'll go all the way down and then all the way back up up to the leg. Then I'll make sure the cotton is secure and pull off my vet wrap. I also want to make sure that I should be able to slip my fingers in the top. That should be able to tell you if you applied the correct amount of pressure. If you did not apply the correct amount of pressure, you won't be able to slip your fingers in. Do not leave more than 12 hours overnight, and make sure you wash off, especially if it's DMSO, make sure you wash off that leg when you're done.